Welcome back to another episode of the College Football Hangover. I am your host, Jake Williams, coming at you Friday, doing a Friday recording. I'd like to apologize to the people that actually watch this show. I don't know. I tried to get this up sooner, but then we recorded on Wednesday, and I did double duty. I'm not trying to excuse anything. Let's just get to the show. I just now noticed the N on my shirt isn't showing, so I had to flip my hat around to let you people know that, go Big Red. And so I'm going to do things a little different. Being that it's on a Friday, I'm going to kind of preview the week ahead. I'm still going to talk about the college football rankings, but I am going to kind of give you a little look-see what you're going to see tomorrow in college football, and pray to all that is holy that Nebraska can beat Maryland. Both teams are on a vicious losing streak. Nebraska has 4 straight losses this year. Really looking down the barrel of another 4-8 season. Maryland has, I believe, the same amount of losses. I just know they lost a lot of football games as well. And this is really do or die time for the Huskers, because if they don't win here, they're not going to get a bowl game. Unless maybe they beat Iowa, they might let a 5-7 Husker team in. But I'm not holding my breath. So let's get into the college football rankings. The top 6 not changing from last week. Makes a lot of sense. All these teams won. I think the biggest change that could have maybe happened would somehow be Oregon jumps Alabama because they lost Tua. But that doesn't really work here because, Bama still won, and they won convincingly, even without Tua. That's some big news that I will be talking about in a little bit. So, the top 6, pretty much the same, but there are some top 7 even. I think Utah does that, but, some changes, and I'm going to do this because it's a comedy show. Rounding out the top 10, Oklahoma, Penn State, and Florida. If you don't know the top 7, it's Ohio State, or LSU, Ohio State, Clemson, Georgia, Alabama, Oregon, Utah, and then the other teams I mentioned before that to round out the top 10. My joke is Oklahoma jumps 2 spots because, they crashed the boat. Thank you, Iowa. Thank you for ruining what could have been really fun and exciting to have a Minnesota team from the Big Ten West. Yes, they probably would have got clobbered by Ohio State. It's almost a guarantee they would have gotten demolished by the Buckeyes. But we had the opportunity to see PJ Fleck's craziness on a national scale, and you stole that from us all over a stupid pig. I hope you're happy with yourself, Iowa. I really do. Knowing Iowa Hawkeye fans, they are, because it's a rivalry. Of course you're going to be happy. I'm just saying they put a lot of effort into something that is a pig. Iowa's a pork state. I know, I live there now. So yes, the boat has been crashed. They dropped down to number 11. They just dropped out of the top 10. They can still win the West, Minnesota fans. Don't worry, you still have a chance. And like I said weeks ago, the Paul Bunyan's axe will decide the Big Ten West because Iowa is mathematically out. So now it's going to be down to Wisconsin and Minnesota for the Big Ten West title. Oklahoma, I mentioned I want to talk about them and make jokes. I know, I got to preview the week ahead. It's Friday, Jake. There's so much low-hanging fruit. Have you not watched this show? I'm just petty. That's just what I am. Let's talk about this. For all season, I've been saying, no, Baylor can't be the team. We can't let Baylor represent the Big 12, be the only undefeated Big 12 team in the land. Can't let it happen. Don't let them be possibly the Big 12 team that could sneak into the college football playoff. And it looks scary. They had a 25-point lead, and then the Baylor Bears pulled a classic Matty Ice move. They pulled the Atlanta Falcons. They were up 28-3 and lost at home 34-31. I don't know how this could happen. How can you not score your 30? Here's the most important thing. 31 points in the first half, and they can't score a single one in the second? How? And spoiler alert, they're the hacks of the week. There's no question they're the hack of the week. And you know what? I'll give Oklahoma best of the week just because it's stupid. That's how we're going to move along with this show now. So pretty much, like I said, what I expected. Wisconsin moving on up because they beat Nebraska. Look, I'll be honest. I didn't think Nebraska was going to win that game against. Let me adjust my hat. I didn't think Nebraska was going to win that game against Wisconsin. It is a little bit more competitive than I expected. They showed spurts of changes. I think big shout out to Dietrich Mills. He really stepped up with the injured Wandale Robinson. So there's some good things coming, and I honestly think, and I've been saying this, and people don't believe me. People think I'm crazy. It's going to take time. I think Frost has got to go in the right direction. I think you're going to see more of his guys really show up and shine, and it's going to change things. It's going to be good. Believe in it, because good Lord, what are we going to do? Oh, we got an extension, so he failed up. Go Big Red. All right, so looking ahead, I want to talk about some matchups here. Particularly, let's keep it with the theme of Oklahoma. This week they got TCU, and then after that they've got Bedlam. So they're probably going to be playing Baylor again in the Big 12 championship because the Big 12 is silly like that. I mean, come on. You don't want to expand, but you want a championship game, but then you got to play a team that you already beat, and then it's like, what is the point? But it's like, oh, but this is the hardest path to the national championship because you made it that way. I mean, this week the LSU Tigers are going to be taking on Arkansas, another rivalry game, so they'll probably win that. They'll probably beat A&M, and they'll just march their way into the SEC championship. So that's what I'm looking at right now. I'm still going to pull this up on the fly because anything in this show, I don't plan anything properly. Ohio State has the biggest matchup of the weekend. They're going to be taking on Penn State. Now, this is a big game for not only Ohio State and Penn State, but also Minnesota, because this is going to help Minnesota's rankings because this is their real chance to get into the Year 6 bowl game. If they can beat Wisconsin and lose, that's true. I mean, they're going to lose to Ohio State, but it's important because Penn State, hit my mic. Penn State doesn't necessarily need to win to make Minnesota look better. They just had to stay competitive. And so that way Minnesota's marquee win isn't devalued. If they would have beaten Iowa, it would have been a different story, but being what it is, I don't know if that'll be a big factor because they still have a very good chance of beating Wisconsin and still getting to the Big Ten title game and still making to a New Year's Six bowl game because God knows they're not going to be in the playoff because they ain't going to beat Ohio State. And that's pretty much this week's college football hangover. Kind of clustered, but, that's what happens at the end of the season, and I kind of forget to do the episode until Friday. But, that's what you pay for. I tried this out last week, and I'm going to keep doing it through the end of the season, and then maybe do it again next year. But Loud Sports, our Facebook page, I will also be posting this in full up on that page, so check that out. If you don't already watch it on YouTube. If you watch it on YouTube, thanks. Otherwise, like I said, let's pray for the Huskers. Let's pray for them beating Maryland. Other than that, not a big amount of matchups. I mean, Penn State, Ohio State will be a good one. Maybe TCU, Oklahoma will be a good one. I don't care who Alabama plays because I don't care about them. Utah and Oregon, I hope they both keep winning, especially this week because that will set up the monumental Pac-12 title game that might be the best championship game matchup other than probably LSU and Georgia. I don't know. I'm rambling. Thanks so much for watching another episode of the College Football Hangover. If you're wondering, I mentioned it earlier in the episode, Hack of the Week, Baylor Bears. Best of the Week, I don't know, Oklahoma. Hack of the Week also contender could be Nick Saban for putting in Tua and injuring that poor kid and really hurting his chances in the NFL. Anyway, thank you so much for watching this episode of College Football Hangover. Whether you watch it on Facebook, whether you watch it on YouTube, I enjoy you. The season is really heating up and winding down and coming to an end, but don't worry, I'll still be here. I don't know exactly if I'll do all the bowl games, but I definitely will still cover championship week and definitely still cover the New Year's Six and the championship because obviously. But I might give the smaller teams some credit and watch some of those games and report back to you. We'll see. So thanks so much for watching. Check this out on YouTube or Facebook, Loud Sports, the regular podcast that we do that hosts this. You can also check out the Jake Williams Show and the other two podcasts. They're still around. They're on hiatus, but they will be coming back. I promise you some changes have been made, and it's going to be great. Now, the content will stay the same, but some changes on my end will be made, and they will be awesome. So thanks so much, and I will see you some point next week.
Bye.